Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct this evening from Black Facts Headquarters Central with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. Hope everybody's feeling real fine out there in Black Facts, tubular Black Facts land. And if you're not, hopefully you'll be feeling better when we get done. Either way, we're hoping that you may just have a little bit of fun and not so much ducking the dog and dodging that gun. So, first things first, you know what to do. Go ahead, if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. And then please do make sure to go ahead and spread the love. Invite your friends, your family, your children, your enemies. Turn them into some frenemies. That'll give you and me a big grin of me. Yeah, think about that. All right, now, proverb for today. Earth is the queen of beds. Earth is the queen of beds. And I believe that's a Nigerian proverb. Matter of fact, it is. All right, so now, last night, we had started off reading about these 5 Negro presidents, which you see a picture of here, by the way, on the cover of this little pamphletized book by none other than Joel Augustus Rogers, one of African America's greatest historians. And he didn't just read about things, he went to the places, met the people. He was a war correspondent in Ethiopia, etc. The man was boots on the ground. He believed in putting some boots on the ground and cameras in the air and taking a picture if you dare. So who you're looking at here, this is Warren G. Harding of Marion, Ohio. That's the president right there, the one on the top. And then this is a picture of, I think, of his grandfather or his great-grandfather down below. So you can see, although both of them are light-skinned, one of them definitely had what appears to be quite nappy, kinky hair. So this was true of more than one president, that they had this kind of African background. And we're going to read a little bit more about some of these Negro presidents before we get into our actual Juneteenth celebration piece. We got a little ways to go. Oh yeah, yesterday we were talking about Salome Mueller, a white German girl sold as a Negro slave. Her relatives brought suit, but the Supreme Court of Louisiana said she was still a nigger. She looked like a nigger to them, straight up. It wasn't until her birth certificate was dug up in Germany that her real quote-unquote race was discovered. In fact, she'd been married to a Negro as well. Oh. Yep. So at any rate, that's where we left off at yesterday. Now let's see where we were reading here. Oh yeah, we talked about Attorney McKee discovered that discovered that he had come into an inheritance of $1.2 million. But in order to claim it, he had to claim to be black. So he let it be known he was black as you want him to be. If that meant he could get that million too. Okay, now, um, so we're going to pick up right here at the bottom of page 4. Here's another case, this time from English royalty. David Michael, Marquis of Milford Haven, cousin of the Queen of England, has some Negro strain, but positively doesn't show it. On the paternal side, he is descended from Queen Victoria. On the maternal side, he's descended from Pushkin, Russia's greatest poet. And as it turns out, I just found a little pamphlet with a couple of his stories in here. I'm going to read those and see if I might be able to read them on air sometime in the future. Where was that? He was descended on the maternal side from Pushkin, Russia's greatest poet. Pushkin, in turn, is descended from Abram Petrovich Anabal, an unmixed Sudanese Negro who was adopted by Peter the Great of Russia, and of whom Pushkin wrote in his Negro of Peter the Great. Anabal's descendants married also into the German, Russian, Dutch, and other royal families. David Michael's mother was Najida, daughter of Grand Duke Michael of Russia. In some southern states, this member of English royalty would definitely be none other than Pierre de Negro. Oops, looks like I forgot to put on my slideshow. Let me, boop, there you go. See the slideshow too. And I'm playing these images here of these people that in some cases it's easy to tell that they got some black in them, but in other cases it's a lot more difficult unless you know who you're looking at. So I'm just going to play that in the background while I'm reading. In some southern states, this member of English royalty would be a Negro. Virginia law provides that if any Negro ancestry is quote unquote ascertainable, one is a Negro. If this had been proved of Thomas Jefferson, he would be a Negro too. When this descendant of Victoria and of Pushkin married, the Hearst newspapers had a feature on it saying that a coal-black baby might yet be born in the English royal family. Now, if that sounds familiar to y'all, that's probably only because it is, because they just said that about Meghan Markle. But for another reason, though. Similar, but not quite the same. This was based on the belief that if either couple has the slightest degree of Negro strain, a coal-black child might be born. And he's quoting that from Debray's Peerage, page 53. And the book was written in 1668. Therefore, if Negro strain can be found in European royalty, which is so exclusive, quote unquote, why not in the American colonies where there was so much intermixing going on all the time? Winston Churchill's grandmama was 1/4 American Indian, which William Joyce, rightly or wrongly, claims wasn't Indian, but actually that she was a Negro too. That therefore these American presidents might have had some Negro strain is possible. Did some persons who knew the intimate details of their ancestry tell of them? There are very many instances of whites being exposed as Negroes. International intercourse was very common then. George Washington had a Negro son, and Jefferson had mulatto daughters. Negro males were also named as correspondents in white divorce cases, as Helen Catterall tells in her Judicial Cases Concerning American Slavery and the Negro. Mixed marriages were also legal, not illegal, but were legal in several southern states, including Virginia and Mississippi. In Tennessee, mixed couples had to pay a tax. Thomas Jefferson. The chief attack on Jefferson was in the Johnny Cake Papers. In a general denunciation of him, it said, quote, Thomas Jefferson, son of a half-breed Indian squaw, sired by a Virginia mulatto father. It also called him a half-nigger, quote, end quote. Opposition papers took it up. It is difficult to find matter with specific details of the assertion now. But he lists off a number of sources that you can find assertions right now, including an article by David S. Broder in the New York Times Magazine of September 9, 1964. See if y'all can find that. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson's father and mother came from Ireland and were wretchedly poor. The Virginia Magazine of History, Volume 29, page 191, says that Jackson was the son of a white woman who had intermarried with the Negro, and that his eldest brother had been sold as a Negro, as a slave in Carolina. What gave an air of truth to this was that the elder Jackson died before Andrew was born. His widow went to live on a Crawford farm where there were Negro slaves, and that there were several. Wait a minute, I'm trying to figure out where I left off. Where there were Negro slaves, and that one of these was Andrew's father. It was stressed that Andrew was conceived after the death of his supposed father, whose name he bore. Other mention can be found in David C. Doyle's Ordeal of the Presidency, where they claim they buried Washington. There's another one. Other mentions can be found in David C. Doyle's Ordeal of the Presidency, and in Jacobson's Affairs of Dame Rumor, Lady Rumor. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just finish this off, and then I'm going to finish off this one page here. I'll read. We'll just tie this up with a bow for tonight. Lincoln was said to be the illegitimate son of a Negro by Nancy Hanks. In his campaign for the presidency, he was often referred to as a Negro by his opponents. He was even depicted as a Negro. He was called Abraham Africanus I. What gave strength to this was that his hair was more Negroid than Caucasian. So was his color. Of his father, he said, his face was round, his complexion swarthy, hair black and coarse, eyes brown. Of himself, of dark complexion, with coarse black hair and dark eyes. Herndon, his closest friend and law partner, said he had very dark skin. His confidential servant, William Slade, an ex-slave, said a Negro was much faster and had straight hair. Slade looked like a white man, Herndon said. There was something about Lincoln's origin, he never cared to dwell on. Other writers agree with him. Coleman says, all we know about President Lincoln's parentage and birth under his own hand are two brief records. One, an entry in the Bible, in his own handwriting that he was born on February 12, 1809. And the other, I remember, autographed. Oh, and the other, a brief autobiography, which he gave me, Mr. Jesse R. Fell, in December 1859 for a campaign sketch. Lincoln had a secret preying on his mind. Was it his race? His enemies harped on it. Herndon says of it, Lincoln often thought of something of committing suicide. Why? Did the knowledge of his mother's origin or his own press the knowledge out of his mother's mouth? Yeah, why would he say that he was an orphan? Jacobson mentions a catechism by a Western author adducing evidence. He also mentions evidence that Lincoln was of Negro ancestry. He also mentions another catechism by Chauncey Burr, who said it would not rebound to Lincoln's honor to have it proved that he is part Negro. For then, on the ground of a natural sympathy with his own race, we might find excuses for facts which we could never pardon a white man. The evidence, in quotation marks or parentheses, the evidence that Abraham Lincoln was not born in lawful wedlock was published by William Coleman, 1899. And then he's got a whole bunch of references here for anybody who wants to check the references. But he concludes this section by saying, it seems clear that those whites who said Lincoln was a Negro are right. Interesting. So, that's our presentation for tonight. This is Doc Ock signing off. We're going to go ahead and leave you with some good thoughts on your mind, hopefully. But before we do that, let me just say to all the little children out there, I'm so glad that school is ending, so I don't have to worry about y'all running back up into school, talk about Lincoln and Jefferson and Warren G. Harding were black. Keep that to yourself and let it ruminate around in your head for a while before you go running up and down the street, blabbing it all into creation. And in the meanwhile, I need you to take your little head, put it on your little pillow, on your little bed, close those eyes, and wait for that sun to rise. And when you see that sun with its sun rays beaming down on your eyes in the new day, you know the way. It's time to rise and shine, oh chillin' of mine. Meanwhile, all you adults out there, you know what I need you to do. Go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. And last but not least, don't forget to become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. And you can do that on your phone, your laptop, your desktop, or you can do it on your iPad. You can use any device that you want. On your phone, if you're on Facebook, go to notifications and you'll find a link over there. If you're on your laptop, on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, there's a link below in the area where I describe the piece of the presentation. You'll find a link down there. So those are some easy ways to make a donation, make it a recurring donation so that you spread the love over the period of 12 months. If you could do those two things, that'd be great. $5 a month. That's all you got. That's the entry level. Start with that. Okay? Start with that. That'd be excellent. Meanwhile, we're going to move on. We're going to do our transition on out. We're going to say good evening to Brittany and Tony and anybody else that's out there. Oh, I see Spirit is out there. And anybody else who's out there that I didn't wave to, let it be known. I'm waving right now. Boom. There you go. Peace out without a doubt. with justice, because anything less disgusts us. So don't be disgusting. Ask for some justice along with your peace, at least. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. There we go.